How can you prevent scaffolding injuries in Pennsylvania? A single missing guardrail or unstable plank can turn a routine workday into a life-changing fall. Preventing scaffolding injuries requires following proper safety protocols, including the use of guardrails, personal fall arrest systems, stable platforms, and regular inspections. Under Federal Occupational Safety and Health Administration standards, construction sites must implement specific measures to protect workers at heights above 10 feet. The leading cause of scaffold injuries is falls resulting from inadequate fall protection systems. When guardrails are missing or improperly installed, workers face direct fall hazards. Unsecured scaffolding that shifts or tips during use creates dangerous conditions that can throw workers to the ground. Damaged or improperly placed planking can give way under a worker's weight. Falling objects also pose serious risks when tools, materials, or debris drop from elevated platforms. Electrocution can occur when scaffolds are erected too close to power lines or when workers contact electrical sources. Scaffold collapse may happen when too much weight exceeds the structure's capacity. OSHA requires scaffolds and components to support at least 4 times the maximum intended load. For most scaffolds, fall protection is required when workers are more than 10 feet above a lower level. Guardrail systems must be installed along all open sides and ends of platforms. The top edge of the toprail is generally 38 to 45 inches above the platform surface. Each toprail must withstand at least 200 pounds of force on most scaffolds. Platforms must be fully planked or decked with tight spacing to reduce tripping hazards. The space between platform units and uprights must generally be no more than 1 inch. Platform ends must extend over supports by at least 6 inches and follow OSHA overhang limits. Each scaffold platform and walkway must generally be at least 18 inches wide. Scaffold bases must sit on solid footing capable of supporting the loaded structure. A competent person must inspect scaffolds before each work shift and after any event that could affect structural integrity. A competent person is someone who can identify hazards and has the authority to take corrective action. Workers must also move safely on scaffolding to reduce risk. Always walk and never run or jump on scaffold platforms. Sudden movements can create dynamic forces that exceed load capacity. Workers should distribute weight evenly and avoid concentrating materials in one area. Signs of overloading include sagging planks, creaking sounds, or noticeable movement. If these warning signs appear, work should stop immediately and excess weight should be removed. Safe access is required when scaffold platforms are more than 2 feet above or below a point of access. Acceptable access methods include ladders, stairway-type ladders, ramps, walkways, or integral prefabricated frames. Cross-bracing is not an acceptable means of access except in limited frame scaffold situations. Training plays a central role in preventing scaffolding accidents. OSHA requires training for workers who erect, dismantle, move, operate, repair, maintain, or inspect scaffolding. Training must help employees recognize electrical hazards, fall hazards, and falling object hazards. Workers must understand proper assembly procedures and maximum intended load capacities. Retraining is required when workplace changes introduce new hazards or when workers demonstrate unsafe practices. Training should also address environmental hazards such as high winds, rain, ice, and temperature extremes. After a scaffold injury, many workers wonder whether they can sue. Most injured construction workers can file workers' compensation claims regardless of fault. Workers' compensation provides medical coverage and wage loss benefits but does not cover pain and suffering. In some cases, an injured worker may file a personal injury claim against a third party whose negligence contributed to the accident. Potential third parties may include general contractors, property owners, scaffolding manufacturers, equipment rental companies, or subcontractors. A third-party lawsuit may allow recovery of full economic damages and non-economic damages such as pain and suffering. These claims must generally be filed within 2 years under Pennsylvania law. Understanding your rights after a scaffold accident can protect your financial future. A lawyer can evaluate whether OSHA violations, defective equipment, or unsafe worksite conditions contributed to your injuries. An attorney can determine whether you have a workers' compensation claim, a third-party lawsuit, or both. The right lawyer will investigate the accident, identify all liable parties, and pursue full compensation under the law. An experienced attorney can guide you through strict filing deadlines and complex liability issues. If you were injured in a scaffolding accident, the law firm of Luxenberg, Garbett, Kelly & George PC is available to discuss your options. Call Luxenberg, Garbett, Kelly & George PC at 724-658-8535, located at 315 North Mercer Street, Newcastle, Pennsylvania, 16101, United States.